I walked away from a better woman to be with you. Maybe that was my biggest mistake. That's what my husband, Ethan, said across our kitchen table, like it was a casual fact instead of a knife. I'm Claire, 37, and 2 weeks ago, I thought my marriage was boring in a good way. Stable, predictable, safe. Turns out I was confusing familiar for faithful. Have you ever felt your whole life tilt because of one sentence? Because I did. And the worst part? He'd been comparing me to his ex, Madison, long before he admitted she was back in town. If that makes your blood boil, I promise it gets worse. Stay with me, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe. You'll want the ending. I used to think decent was a compliment. No screaming, bills paid, photos that looked normal, so we must be fine, right? If that sounds familiar, tap like. Ethan and I met at a conference in Denver, both stuck near a coffee station. One joke became a call, calls became long distance, and eventually he moved to my city. 9 years together, 7 years married. The kind of timeline people stop questioning. We bought a house 3 years ago and talked about kids like they were a future renovation. When things slow down. Ethan worked corporate communications, always polishing other people's stories. I managed projects, always chasing deadlines. We told ourselves we were building a life, even when most days felt like parallel tracks that never met. The first sign wasn't dramatic. He drifted. Dinner cooled before he sat down. He took calls in the car before coming inside. He went straight to his office, door half closed, voice low. When I asked about his day, I got summaries instead of stories. Busy, long, same stuff. I blamed stress. His company was restructuring. So I tried to be supportive in that good wife way that really means I shrink so you don't have to feel uncomfortable. And the distance still grew. Date nights disappeared. Conversations became logistics. We brushed our teeth side by side and somehow avoided eye contact, like we were strangers sharing a bathroom. Then, about 3 months ago, he started saying his ex's name, Madison, like it slipped out by accident. Madison would love this place. Madison was great at fixing stuff. I kept my face neutral, but inside I felt that ugly twist. Why now? He'd barely mentioned her for years and suddenly she was everywhere. His phone changed next. A password lock that hadn't existed in our marriage. The screen angled away. Notifications silenced. Bathroom trips with his phone in hand like it was an oxygen tank. And one morning, he left it on the counter while he showered. It buzzed once. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again. The contact name was just initials. My stomach dropped so hard I had to sit down. I didn't open the phone. I didn't need to. Ethan came downstairs, picked it up, glanced at the screen, and smiled. Not a polite smile. A private one. The kind you wear when you're holding a secret in your mouth. Who was that? I asked, light tone. Oh, he said too fast. Coworker, work thing. Lie. And it wasn't even a careful lie. It was the lazy kind a man tells when he's confident you'll accept anything as long as he says it without blinking. So I started noticing everything. Later nights. Happy hours. The way he got more intentional with his clothes, his hair, his cologne, like he was auditioning. I finally sat him down. I feel like we're drifting, I said. Is something wrong? He hit me with the classics. You're imagining things. You're paranoid. Maybe you're projecting. That word landed like a slap because it wasn't an answer. It was a way to make me doubt my own eyes. Then last Wednesday, I walked in, and he was already at the kitchen table with a glass of wine that wasn't his first. He didn't ask how my day was. He just said, "We need to talk." And then he said it, slow, clear, like he'd practiced it. I walked away from a better woman to be with you. Maybe that was my mistake. Do you know what that does to a person? It's not "I'm unhappy." It's a ranking. A confession that you've been living inside a comparison you never agreed to. I stared at him, felt something in me go very still, and I said, "Then go fix your mistake." I grabbed my keys and walked out. No plan, no music. Just 40 minutes of driving with his words looping in my skull like a cruel ringtone. I ended up at my sister Jenna's place, shaking, pretending I could breathe. And when my phone lit up with missed calls and panicked texts, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't losing a husband. I was finally meeting the man I'd been married to. The next morning, I went to work and acted like nothing happened. Ethan kept calling and texting, first irritated, then panicked. Where are you? We're not done talking. Come home. It didn't feel like love. It felt like a man trying to pull control back into his hands. By late afternoon, I knew limbo would kill me. So I told him, meet me in public. We chose a quiet cafe near the office. Neutral territory, witnesses nearby. He looked wrecked. I didn't mean what I said, he rushed. I was angry. You didn't stumble into that sentence, I said. You chose it. He tried the word he loved most. I've just been confused. Confused about what? I asked. He stared at the table, then finally said it. I reconnected with Madison. My stomach turned, but my voice stayed calm. How? Online first, he said. Messages. And then she moved back 3 months ago. 3 months, exactly when my marriage started dying. Have you been seeing her? I asked. Sometimes, he said fast. Coffee, lunch, talking? And the text I saw? Last night was amazing? His face flashed with anger, not shame. You looked at my phone? I saw a notification, I said. That's all it took. You had no right? No, I cut in. You don't get to lecture me about rights while you build a second relationship behind my back. It's not an affair, he snapped. We haven't slept together. He said it like it proved he was still a good man. But you want to, I said. Silence. So what was the plan? I asked. Keep me at home while you decide if she's better? That's not fair, he shot back. You haven't been present either. That accusation lit a cold anger in me. I was here, I said. I tried to connect. You shut me out. She understands me, he said. There it was. The comparison again. I leaned in. She understands the version of you that lives in nostalgia, I said. I know the version who hides behind a password and calls his wife paranoid when she notices. He looked away. I never meant to hurt you. But you did, I said. And you were willing to keep doing it. When I stood up, he reached for my hand. We can fix it. I pulled back. You didn't want to fix us, I said. You wanted options. Walking to my car, I could feel my hands shaking, but my mind was weirdly quiet, like my body was grieving and my brain was finally awake. Have you ever felt that split inside you, all at once? That night, I called an attorney, the same one who handled our house closing, because I wanted facts, not begging. She asked, do you feel safe in the home right now? Safe from boundary violations. Safe from being twisted into the villain. No, I said. The next evening, I drove back to the house, but I didn't go alone. I hired a locksmith. I booked a small moving truck. And I asked my sister Jenna to come because I needed a witness. Ethan's car was in the driveway. He opened the door with relief, then froze when he saw the locksmith. What's going on, Ethan? He asked. I'm moving out, I said. 30-day notice. You're doing this because of one argument, he said. I'm doing this because you told me marrying me was a mistake, I replied. And because you lied while you chased your ex. Upstairs, I packed fast. Clothes, work gear, documents, anything I bought myself. I didn't touch shared things. I didn't want to fight. I wanted distance. You already hired movers? He whispered. Since you ranked me, I said. When the locksmith started changing the locks, Ethan flared. You can't do that. I live here. Temporary terms will be handled through lawyers, I said. This is practical. He watched the locks turn, like the sound was finally translating what my words hadn't. I was done being his safety net. And as the truck pulled away, I didn't feel abandoned. I felt chosen. By me. If this is making you furious, hit like, share it, and tell me in the comments. Would you have left that fast? The first night in my new apartment felt unreal. Boxes everywhere, the place echoing. No familiar footsteps, no soft, hey babe, from the next room. Just the refrigerator humming like it was the only thing steady in my life. I slept better than I expected. And that alone told me how exhausted I'd been inside that marriage. The next morning, Ethan's messages started again. He bounced between pleading and blaming. Please come home. You're overreacting. I never cheated. You're destroying everything. I didn't reply. I saved them and forwarded them to my attorney because when someone is losing their grip on you, they start rewriting reality. By day 3, he was telling people I'd abandoned him. Mutual friends reached out with careful questions that felt like interrogations. I kept my answer simple. He reconnected with his ex, told me marrying me was a mistake, and I removed myself from the competition. Some people believed me instantly, some didn't. I stopped trying to manage anyone's opinion. I'd managed Ethan's emotions long enough. A week later, separation papers were served. Ethan had 30 days to respond. That's when the panic got loud. He showed up at my apartment complex twice. Security turned him away both times. He left voicemails, crying, then angry, then crying again. I love you, followed by, you're cold, followed by, you're ruining my life. It was whiplash, and it confirmed what I felt in that cafe. He didn't miss me. He missed the certainty of me. 2 weeks in, he stopped contacting me directly. I heard he'd moved in with his mom temporarily and that he was devastated. Then my attorney called and said, he wants counseling, another chance. I said no so fast it surprised even me. Are you sure? She asked. Yes, I said. File for divorce. After that, Ethan tried to control the narrative online. Vague posts about loyalty, quotes about being left at his lowest, like he needed an audience to vote him back into being the victim. I didn't respond. I didn't argue in comments. Silence is powerful when you've already told the truth. The legal process moved fast. No kids, comparable incomes, no business to untangle. Mediation was almost quiet, just paperwork, numbers, and the sound of consequences settling in. He agreed to buy me out of the house. I kept my car, my furniture, and half the savings. No screaming, no courtroom drama, just signatures. And then, months later, the irony showed up through mutual friends. Things with Madison didn't work out. She wasn't looking for anything serious. She'd just come out of her own divorce and was enjoying her freedom. No commitments, no expectations, lots of old flames. Ethan wasn't special. He was familiar. He was nostalgia. Did that make me happy? No, it didn't even make me smile. It just confirmed what I already knew. I was never the problem. The marriage didn't collapse because I wasn't enough. It collapsed because he needed a fantasy more than he wanted a real partner. The divorce finalized 6 months after the night I walked out. 2 months after that, Ethan sent one last message. Can we talk? I need closure. I stared at it for a long time, then deleted it. Closure isn't something you beg from the person who broke you. Closure is what you build when you stop asking for permission to move on. Therapy helped me name the truth I'd avoided. I'd been shrinking to make room for his uncertainty. I'd been calling loneliness peace because it hurt less than admitting I was being replaced in slow motion. And now my life is quieter, but it's mine. And if this story hit a nerve, please hit like and subscribe. Seriously. It helps more people find these warnings before they waste years. You deserve honesty, not auditions. Tell me what you'd do. So let me ask you something, because someone watching this is in the decent stage right now, trying to convince yourself it's fine. If your partner keeps you as a safety net while they shop for better, is it love or just convenience? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share this with a friend who needs the reminder. Never be someone's backup plan. So that's where I'm at now. Not starting over, not healing perfectly, just choosing myself on purpose every single day. I used to think love meant patience, waiting, adjusting, staying soft even when it hurt. Now I think love is also boundaries. Love is refusing to audition for a role you already earned. If someone tells you you were their mistake, believe them the first time and let them live with it. But I want to ask you honestly, because people love to judge a woman for leaving fast. Am I in the wrong? For moving out, changing the locks, and refusing counseling after he emotionally ran back to his ex? Because from where I'm standing, I didn't end a marriage. I ended a competition. If you've ever been someone's backup plan, you know how soul crushing that is. So here's the lesson I'm taking with me: don't confuse familiarity with safety, and don't let anyone measure you against a memory. If this story helped you name what you've been feeling, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs permission to choose themselves. Your future self will thank you for this choice. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done?